Hi guys, so I'm out in front of the house on Webster and I thought I'd do just a kind of a quick 360 out here on the street. Very nice neighborhood, very convenient to JBLM. This is one of the most popular areas for people coming to JBLM. This kind of general or larger area is called Hawks Prairie. You've probably heard the term. And I'm sure you've looked on the map and know where we are. I also want to point out across the road over there, that's Salish Middle School. It was just built, I think, 2 years ago. My granddaughter went there for 8th grade, I think, right after they opened. So anyway, and I'm going to go ahead and walk around the side of the house here since we're here. It is a real nice size lot, and it has a big fenced backyard, and you still have all this side yard over here. The side yard here, this neighborhood, the HOA does do some maintenance out here in the planter strip in between the sidewalk and the road. I think they probably maintain this as well, but I'm not certain of that. That's something we'd have to find out moving forward if you guys like the house. And then the last thing I'll say from here to the DuPont gate to the flagpole, no more than 15 minutes at PT time, maybe 20 in the afternoon on the way home. I lived just on the other side of the freeway from here up until I retired, and I could be at the Corps headquarters at the flagpole in 12 to 15 minutes, so it is a great location. I'm going to back up just a bit. So the house itself, the roof on the house looks real good from what I could tell from the ground. The paint on the exterior looks decent. It's going to need a paint job in the next 3 or 4 years probably. The siding on this house is what's called hardy board, so it's a cement based siding. It's probably the most popular product here in Washington because it's impervious to the weather, but it has kind of a wood like texture to it, so it can be painted and stuff. We also see a lot of vinyl siding here, and that stuff cannot be painted. You're just kind of stuck with the color, and you're stuck with it once it fades because it's plastic and it's flexible, and if you put paint on it within a year or two, it just starts flaking off. So anyhow, so I'm going to go ahead and go through here, and like I say, I try to kind of zero in on the little stuff because I think if the sellers have missed the little stuff, that can be kind of telling. So anyway, I'm just going to walk through. I'll comment and talk as I go, and I'm going to rely on you to look for the good stuff because I'm mainly focused on looking for the bad stuff. And that's my wife right there. Well, you can't see her in the mirror, so you can see her here. This is Gail, my wife.
Hi.
And Wesley is 1 year old. So nice place. Not as open as I would have expected for this neighborhood and this vintage of home, but you do have a nice formal living out front, and then this is more of the informal family room, fireplace room, whatever you want to call it. You do have what I'm going to call a semi-formal dining area here. And then obviously the kitchen overlooks that. I'm going to go ahead and step out back real quick and just take a look. Overhead like this is very nice in our climate. I don't know how much you know about Washington. It's not as bad as people say. It's a whole lot like Germany. I mean, we came here from Germany and the weather is almost identical. We do get a fair amount of rain in the winter, but it's more of a drizzly type stuff. Our actual annual rainfall is less than a lot of other parts of the country. But in the winter, we get the weather patterns coming off the ocean, and we do get a lot of overcast and rain, but the summers here are just incredible. A hot summer day is 80 degrees, and yeah. So, and that brings me to my next comment that I'm going to walk back over here and look for an air conditioner. Nope. Very few homes here in Washington have AC or heat pumps. I mentioned the heat pump because they have become very popular. There is an AC unit over there or a heat pump. The heat pumps are very energy efficient, and they produce heat in the, see, I'm sure you see what I'm seeing here. They produce heat in the winter at a very efficient rate, and then they basically run backwards and produce air conditioning in the summer. They are so energy efficient that like the local power company will subsidize your purchase of one if you want to install one. But anyhow, very few air conditioners around here because of the climate. Just doesn't really call for it. We usually we'll get a hot August, and that's about it. And so the folks that are putting them in are usually folks that arrive here in the spring, summer. We get to that hot period, and they call the air conditioner company and say, I need you to come put an air conditioner in. And then they use it for a couple of weeks or a month. And then they don't use it again until the next year. But if you get the heat pump, you will use it. We have one in our house, and I think they're a very good investment. So this is saying do not lock. I was afraid there might be a pet in here. It looks like there might be a pet in here. So gas water heater. I'm sure the water heater and furnace are original to the home. Furnace is gas as well. This is something that if we write an offer and get the home when we do the inspection, I always ask that we have an HVAC technician come and service the furnace and just make sure everything's in working order. They typically would do the furnace, fireplaces, things like that. Anything that involves gas. So electrical panel looks good. You've got room should you need to add things. You've got a half a dozen slots there. So, sprinkler system. Those typically, just to kind of warn you, those are typically as is. People don't like to warranty sprinkler systems because they're such a constant maintenance issue. So.
Refrigerator comes with it.
Yeah, the appliances go with it. That is a nice looking fridge. So. Anyhow, and so I'm going to go ahead and come back through here and head up the stairs. The interior paint looks real good, actually. There's going to be some holes and things from wall hangings, but I don't see a lot of patches, and I don't see a lot of touch-ups. And this is something I quite frequently will see people try to match paint, and they don't get it quite right, and they end up with a polka dot house. But you do have some stuff like this. These are little anchors for some sort of wall hanging that's been taken down. Master closet. So I'm going to say this is probably 8 or 9 feet in depth and 6 feet left to right.
Got a dresser and a dresser over
Yeah.
there. This is king size bed.
Yeah, it's a king size bed. So 2 sinks. I think the 2 sinks thing is a good idea in the master. I see people do it in the children's room, and I know you guys have young kids, and I've raised young kids, and I found that after they're about 4 years old, they're not going to go into the bathroom together anyway. So anyhow. It is a really clean house. The carpets are all in good shape, no staining. Yeah. So, moving right along. There is a lot of interest. They had, the scheduling system that I use shows you a little calendar on your computer screen. And they had showings like every hour, all day long. They're not planning to look at offers until Monday, and usually people hold to that unless they get some crazy offer, like somebody coming down out of Seattle that just says, I'll pay you $400K in cash and close in 10 days. Obviously, you get an offer like that, you take it. That doesn't happen very often, but it has been happening some here recently with what's been going on in the country. So, yeah, very, very clean house.
Yeah. They have babies and kids.
Yeah, so this is the nursery. And is that paint?
No.
Is it actual boards?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that treatment on the wall. It's attractive. It's very well done. It's all
Yeah.
uniform.
Yeah. What they did is a paint around.
So yeah, it's not something you'd have to remove or anything. I think it looks very attractive.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
I think so too.
So, and then single sink in this bath.
Did you get the washer and dryer?
I did. Yeah. So anyhow, well, I'll keep the video running on the way out of the house. I'm glad that we got the opportunity to find a house and get out and take a video. Whether it's the right house or not, this will give you kind of some insight on how we do this remotely or long distance. I did see your message about another listing. I'll look at it when I get back to the office and see what I got to do to get an appointment. And we'll go from there. I will talk to you guys soon. And please call me with any questions. All right, I'm gonna take one more lap through here. And I know these videos can be kind of jerky sometimes. I apologize for that. But I hope you get a good feel for the house.
And those are not, nice ones.
Yeah, these faux wood blinds. Gail was just pointing out these blinds, and they are very nice, and they were not put in by the builder, I can promise you that. So, yep.
Is this on?
Okay. Well, thank you guys.